On this edition of Parkland TV, we bring you how the pandemic has affected independent artists, as well as a special first look at next week's event, Parkland's Funniest Home Videos. All this and more coming up on Parkland TV, Off the Air. Welcome to week 9 of the Off Air Show. I'm Nathaniel Armstrong. To start things off, we go to studio manager Zoe Streeter, providing tips on etiquette when ordering takeout and delivery from restaurants during the pandemic. Take it away, Zoe.
Small businesses around the nation have done a wonderful job of acclimating themselves to the COVID-19 pandemic. During this time, it is important to support local businesses so we can keep them afloat. The restaurant industry has taken an especially hard hit. However, through takeout and delivery options, we can keep these businesses afloat as well. When doing takeout, it is important to follow protocol to keep yourself and employees safe. Be sure to wear a mask. Try to go alone if you can. Always be sure to try and take things through the window because this minimizes contact. If you are ordering online, try to order through the restaurant directly. Services such as Grubhub and DoorDash cut into the restaurant's profit by charging them fees. If you are ordering from an online service such as Grubhub or DoorDash, you should know that they are taking precautionary measures by giving their drivers gloves, masks, and hand sanitizers. Still, you should take the measure of asking them to leave your food at the door. This eliminates any unnecessary contact. Whether you're doing takeout or delivery, be sure to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds before and after handling the food. There's no direct evidence that this virus can be transmitted through food or food packaging according to the CDC and FDA. However, it is better to be safe than sorry. Lastly, be sure to tip generously if you can. During these times, it is important that we support our workers and our local businesses. They need us now more than ever. If you're wondering which Lehigh Valley restaurants are doing delivery and pickup, just look up Lehigh Valley Restaurants Curbside Pickup. The first link should be to the morning call. When you click on it, it will give you a list of over 100 Lehigh Valley restaurants and whether they're doing delivery, takeout, or curbside. Reporting, I'm Zoe Streeter.
Thanks, Zoe. Just like restaurants and small businesses, independent artists have taken a hard hit to their businesses due to the pandemic. Providing a closer look on this topic is correspondent Harrison Arocha.
With the closing of small businesses due to the pandemic, we can only wonder how it is affecting small independent creators. I interviewed Robert Fraley III about how the pandemic has affected his art.
Hey, so my name is Robert Fraley III, but I go by RF3 the artist on Instagram, and that's just my artist name. So during this quarantine time and pandemic in general, it hasn't really been as stressful as I thought, since I do have anxiety issues sometimes. It's actually helped me a lot with my work. Now, since I don't have a full-time job, I'm now not forced, but I kind of have no more options to avoid working on my art. I'm actually working on my craft more than I've ever worked in a long time. So every day I'm constantly painting. I'm definitely not falling behind my work. I'm becoming more productive and focused on it. Because at first, I guess when I was distracted by my job, I really didn't think about it too much, but I actually can say that my work actually motivates me. I look at my work every day, I'm like, wow, like I really should push these more. And I think my work in itself is motivation for me to even push harder. And you know, when I post and the response I get, that's motivation for me as well. During this time, I think I've probably become a little more popular. Since a lot of people are unemployed now, it's like everybody's on social media, so they kind of have no choice but to look, you know, and see me more. It's been a lot of pros and cons. The pros are, you know, a bigger audience. The cons are, you know, more comments, you know, people. And recently I just had a bunch of controversy on Facebook about, you know, my work, but not more so the subjects, more so just the prices and people not being able to afford. If anyone wants to see my work, my Instagram is RF3 the artist. Right now, that is the only place I am showing my artwork. I will eventually have a website, but right now, that's the spot. I've been there for years, so that's where I'm at. You can see my commission prices there, and just, you know, check out my work. Follow me on Instagram at RF3 the artist. Thank you.
Thanks, Harrison. While it is important to stay informed and know how you can help during this time, sometimes it just feels good to get up and get moving, which is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We now take it over to news correspondent Darlene Diaz as well as the Miracle League with a special Lehigh Valley take on Pharrell Williams' hit song, Happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on.
Thank you, Darlene, as well as a huge thank you to the Miracle League. We now take it over to news correspondent Shawn Edge, who answers a very important question that we've all been wondering while the days begin to blur in quarantine. Take it away, Shawn.
It's Friday.
Very inspiring, Shawn. Thank you. We now go to business manager Maya Houma with a special interview with Aaron Heintzelman from the Heintzelman Funeral Home.
The coronavirus pandemic has presented a myriad of serious challenges for our society, but the loss of a loved one can be the hardest. Heintzelman Funeral Home, a generous supporter of the Parkland Education Foundation devoted to helping its community, has been committed to helping families through this process. But with social distancing guidelines prohibiting mass gatherings, it can be even more difficult to say goodbye. I recently spoke to Aaron Heintzelman, a Parkland alum and funeral director at Heintzelman Funeral Home, about how they have adjusted their processes to fit social distancing guidelines while still providing as much care for families as possible.
So our biggest challenge would definitely be having funerals just in the general sense. So we are only allowing 10 people in our funeral home, or even outside. We can be a little more lenient, but it has to be very close family, just immediate family. And that's our biggest challenge because so many people, funerals are social, there's a social aspect to funerals. And, when you limit the amount of people, the social aspect of a funeral can't be gotten. When we have people come into our funeral home, they have to be masked, and we have to be masked. And so that's been something that's obviously very new. And then also we have to all social distance. So in our main room, we have normally a big room for a lot of people, but we have to move our chairs and make sure that if you come in the same car, that's okay. But if you are coming in different cars, then you have to stay away from the other people.
And then that 10 people rule, that includes the staff and the pastor, correct?
Yeah, that does. Yeah. So that includes us. And because it's only a few people, we don't have to have a full staff here. So we only have, sometimes we'll only have 2 people work a funeral. We try to, if there's a big family, we'll do things like we'll do extended viewings or extending calling hours so that everybody can have their opportunity to come and pay their last respects to the person who passed away. But for the most part, it's only been about 10 people with us and the pastor. For funerals, we live stream. What we do is we use Zoom. Zoom to work best because I can live stream it as well as record it. And so when we put an obituary out into the newspaper, the wording will be something to the effect of, a recording of the service will be put on our website. Our families can send the link out to their, close friends, or maybe if there's grandkids or great grandkids that can't make it into that 10-person in-person time here at the funeral home, then they have the ability to live stream it. And then sometimes they'll meet us at the cemetery because we can be a little more lenient at the cemetery. For the most part, everybody is understanding of the circumstances that we're in. And the way we run our business is that we just try our best and we want to treat people the way we would want to be treated. So the fact that we're just attempting to help them get the word out or help as many people get their closure that they need it's been a positive reaction from the families that we serve. I think there is an emotional aspect that is not being fulfilled by this. And that's why we're trying to be so empathetic to the situation that they're in, because it's not easy to lose someone at any stage, but then to lose someone during a global pandemic where everything's shut down is probably even more challenging. So I think long term there will be emotional impacts. I don't know what they are yet, but we will be ready to combat those as they come forward.
What are the steps going to be to return back to normalcy with how you normally run things?
Funeral homes are governed nationally and by the state too. So we have to follow their protocols as well as what the state puts forth. And so coming out of this, obviously there's been talk that, sometime in June, maybe we'll be in the yellow stage, which would mean then that we could have a gathering of 25. So it would be in steps, incremental, to get us back into what we would consider normal. I will say that I find people are, for whatever reason, not as stringent as they were. People are getting a little more, like, well, let's have maybe 15 or 20 here at the funeral home. And so we have to still maintain that 10% until we can be lifted.
For Parkland TV and Film, I'm Maya Houma. Back to you, Nathaniel.
Thank you, Maya. To end our show today, we bring you a special first look at the upcoming event, Parkland's Funniest Home Videos.
For the past month, we've collected videos from all over the Parkland School District in order to compile Parkland's Funniest Home Videos, with the best pranks, pets, falls, fails, and everything funny. And we'll be picking the top 3 winners with a grand prize of a $100 gift card. And thanks to our sponsors, on May 20th at 7 p.m., Parkland's Funniest Home Videos will be airing on Channel 65 RCN and Channel 264 Service Electric, not to mention on the Parkland TV and Film YouTube channel.
And that does it for our show today. Make sure you follow all of our social media links below, as well as subscribe to our channel to keep up with all things Parkland. For Parkland TV and Film, I'm Nathaniel Armstrong. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.